Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's cold outside, and so we decided we'd just start this video out in this truck because it's warm and the heat's been on for a minute.
We're gonna skip to the good part, which is where we get to drive the trucks.
So we're gonna flip the camera around. We're gonna talk about this whole truck on the inside. Then we're gonna jump out and show you the outside of it. This one is a little unique because there's no shifter over here. This thing's an automatic. And pretty cool trucks. Desert turquoise, really sharp. Customers will be picking this thing up, I think, next week.
Very
we're gonna go around, show you the whole deal, and do the driving things.
Yeah, let's do this.
All right. Well, it's cold outside, but we've already kind of made that apparent.
Yeah, it's getting really cold outside. It's not awesome in Tennessee right now.
No. Bring back summer. Hey, but here's the good thing. This truck, right there, see that little button? It's got the heated seats.
Yep.
And they're kind of, they feel nice.
At least the seats are nice and warm. We drove this truck around a little bit before we started filming for a reason. Because we didn't want you guys to hear our teeth chattering.
We'll get some, we got some heat in here now. It's not so bad.
Yeah. It takes these diesels a while to warm up. I forget that lesson every single time winter rolls around. I'm like, let's just go jump in a truck, it'll warm up pretty quick. But I forget that diesels aren't the same.
No.
Like, they don't just warm up really quick. So.
No, every morning my truck runs for a few minutes before I ever go outside. So, on the inside of this thing, it is, obviously this is an Ultra Cab stand-up 78-inch sleeper. And it's got all the little bells and whistles in it, heated seats and everything. I mean, it's a nice riding truck. It's a 5.5-inch drop axle, low air leaf in the rear. It's a Paccar with is this an Eaton automatic?
Yes, Eaton automatic. It is the Paccar MX-13 engine. I think maximum horsepower is
510.
Are they 510? I thought they were 515s.
510 and 1850 torque.
When I grow up, I want to be a truck salesman.
I only know that because I just looked at it like an hour ago. Yeah, it's 510, 1850 torque. The cool thing about this truck too, the weight on it, on the door, is like 17,706 pounds.
Which is pretty light for a 389.
Yeah, 280 wheelbase, with everything it's done to it. I mean, it's definitely a light truck. You got all your storage back here. Arctic gray interior. I don't know. I mean, it kind of covers the whole deal.
Definitely does.
You know what they really need to do?
What?
Heated steering wheels.
Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, I have it in my pickup. You've got it in your truck. It makes a difference. Those super cold mornings. That heated steering wheel. It is nice. That's a good recommendation.
We need to email that in over there to Peterbilt when we get back.
Engineers.
Yeah, you just do a heated steering wheel. That'd be great. Thanks. But I love the color. We've had several trucks on the channel. The same color is desert turquoise.
Yeah.
And it's an awesome color. It looks good. This truck with a little bit of chrome we did on it looks great. We did this truck just to get something together pretty quick. Usually a lot of the trucks will paint the visors on the inside of them, different things like that. On this truck, really wasn't trying to go all crazy and all out, just to make it look nice on the outside, get it down the road, and be, I guess, what do you call it, cost efficient.
Yeah, this one's a little bit more cost efficient. This is kind of what we would do more to like our stock trucks. Hold on, I gotta get it. There it goes.
There it goes. You gotta get used to it finding the gear it wants to be in.
Yeah, well, just like knowing what to do with the throttle, like giving it more, giving it less, and like what that does and how the transmission thinks. That's every single vehicle is different when you get in them. So
this one I noticed when I drove it yesterday, and it is something you just get used to. But the downshifts are dependent on throttle position.
Yeah.
So if you're getting ready to turn and you just completely let off the throttle, I mean, it'll just start downshifting like crazy.
Yeah, well, especially if you throw the jakes on, the first thing it wants to do is jump into the highest RPM gear that it can get into to kick the jakes in and help you slow down. which is it's kind of cool. You don't have to think about the downshifting. That's one of the cooler parts.
If you're stuck in traffic, I mean, I wouldn't hate it.
I wouldn't hate it at all. No, and one of the options that I'd heard rumors that a couple of the OEs are working on is, like the high traffic, driver assistance.
Yeah.
Basically, where you can hit a button and it'll just keep the distance to you and the car in front of you.
So it's kind of like in our trucks, you've got
It's like an
adaptive cruise control.
Yeah, it's like an adaptive cruise control, which trucks already have that, but they're making it for basically high traffic scenarios now.
So it works well at low speeds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would actually be a very handy option, because I can see, the very few times I run into traffic, how annoying that is. And truckers being on the road all the time, I'm sure that you'd almost have to run into like a slow traffic situation.
Yeah, you try to go through Chicago, it's going to happen. You try to go through Atlanta, it's going to happen.
Yeah,
you get through Indy, it's going to happen.
You'd think these truckers, they probably run into that scenario at least like once every day, or at least once every 2 days or something. They're hitting some sort of traffic, so it makes a lot of sense for them to have like a low-speed adaptive cruise control. I can see that coming real in handy. I don't know when they're going to release that. It's just something they've talked about loosely. So.
It would be nice. I mean, I don't know. Back when I lived in Georgia, like Atlanta, you can't ever get through Atlanta like without hitting traffic. You can't hardly get through Nashville anymore without hitting traffic. It seems like you get to any major city, you're stuck in some traffic.
Yeah.
And that would be a pretty cool feature to have. The truck ride's super good.
Yeah, and it's enjoyable to drive. It's an automatic, and there's going to be a lot of traditionalists in the comments section. I can already tell.
You're going to be like, this is not a real truck. It don't have a manual in it.
I felt the same way about muscle cars when they re-released like the Dodge Challengers and the Chevy Camaros and the Ford Mustangs.
I don't think none of them have manual. You can't even get a Corvette with a manual.
You can't get a Corvette with a manual, but you still can do a Challenger and a Mustang with a manual.
Manual, yeah.
Well, depending on the horsepower package, like the super high horsepower side of it,
they don't have it.
Yeah, so like Challengers, Hellcat, Red-Eye, no manual transmission behind that thing, and then Ford's Mustang GT500, no manual there either. So, and then Chevrolets, I'm not real familiar with them. I've not really looked into them a whole lot.
I don't think the Corvette has a manual option. I could be wrong.
I do know the Corvette does not have a manual option.
Okay, the Camaro you can get a manual.
Maybe.
But yeah, I'm a manual person. They're just more fun.
Says the guy whose pickup truck is an automatic.
You know why? Because Dodge doesn't make a manual in that truck anymore.
In a 2500?
No.
They do. They just don't make it in the limited package.
Right.
You just can't get it in the interior package that we like.
Nope, you can't. Oh, this guy's in a hurry.
Oh, boy.
There you go, bud. Good job. They got somewhere to be, I reckon.
Apparently.
But yeah, I mean, the manuals are like, they're kind of like slowly dying off.
Yeah. Yeah, the take rate on automatics is becoming higher and higher every year. The percentage is creeping up. Once it becomes the majority, then that means your aftermarket resale, the automatics will bring more on resale than the manuals. Right now, it's about 50-50 as far as what it brings. I mean, it's leveled out. Automatics don't hurt a truck anymore, whereas used to, when you had an automatic semi, the resale value was actually affected by it. Nowadays, not so much.
I mean, I've got a customer buying 2 more trucks, and he's always had manuals, and the 2 new trucks are automatics.
Yeah.
You could have never, I would have never believed you that automatics were going to be a thing 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But we got, hey,
got some kids.
Blow the horn. There you go. Kids like the horns.
Yeah, I just didn't want to like
scare them.
Do it right there next to her. She was awful close to the truck.
Okay, so another thing I was just thinking about, going to the sleeper from the cab here.
Without the shifter pole, that would have to make a huge difference. Right?
Yeah, I mean, you don't have that to step around. It makes it a little easier.
Yeah, nothing to straddle, and then like whenever we jump into trucks, we never just like kind of jump into the seat and walk into the sleeper. We always kind of like sit down, turn, get our legs around the get our legs around the shifter bowl and then walk into the back.
Yep.
But yeah, without that there and without the little plate on the floor, that would have to make it pretty nice.
It definitely opens it up in here a little bit for sure. And another thing too, we were kind of like, I didn't really think this video was gonna be all about automatic transmissions, but we don't do a lot of automatic trucks in the channel, and it just kind of was like an opportunity to talk about it a whole lot.
You know what it is though? This
What?
automatic? It's a 13 speed.
It's a 13-speed automatic.
It's a 13 speed. On principle, it's a win for me. I don't care if it's an automatic or not. It's not an 18 speed, so
you're happy.
So I'm happy here.
So another thing I was going to bring up about the automatic is, and I've talked to a few people, and they weren't in love with automatics for driving in like inclement weather, specifically like ice, because they were concerned about downshifts and upshifts, maybe not when they wanted it to, and or it's an easier way to control wheel speed and stuff if you select the gear you're in. But if you look over here, your jakes is up and down.
Yep.
And so you can get all 3 levels on your jake brakes, and then you can also select your the gear you want to be in.
Yeah, so you just hit the button, the little M pops up next to your gears, and then you just go forward or back right here. So forward is down a gear, and then you can hit it again. You can sit there and watch that change.
11.
Yep.
And it'll hold that gear until you tell it to do otherwise.
Yeah. Or I do believe there's a timer lockout on it. I don't know if we want to test that theory of like, I think you stay here long enough and at 1500 RPMs at 11, it's just gonna kick you into the next gear. I'm pretty sure.
It's gonna tell you no, you can't have it.
Yeah. But I think it takes a while for that to happen. I think it's like if you stay that way for like 5 minutes,
It might want to change it.
It's just one of those reminders of like, hey, by the way, you're running maximum RPMs.
Right. But then you can go up a gear now.
There's 13, or that's 12. And then there's 13.
Yeah. So I mean, you still have all the options in terms of gear, how you're getting to the gears you want to be in.
Yep.
Which makes it nice. So I don't know, anybody was worried about that or ever, thought you can select all your things over there. The Paccar engine's a lot quieter too.
Much quieter in here than the Cummins. And I guess depending on what you're going for. If you're a traditionalist, absolutely you're going to want big horsepower, a little bit of noise, and an 18 speed for sure. But if you're in the truck all the time and you're a type of person that would like some quiet and you don't want to be shifting gears all the time, this setup is actually pretty nice. Like as we drive it around, I'm not saying I would buy this if I'm buying a truck for me. I'm just saying this ain't half bad.
I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad to drive this thing around. Again, it is kind of nice. I mean, we're also talking on the point of like we just drive these things around bobtail.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit to a certain degree. We kind of don't know what we're talking about.
There's a comment somewhere down there that's going to be like, yeah, put 80,000 pounds behind it and see what happens.
Yeah. It's just like, yeah, we don't really have that. So fine, but dragging this thing around bobtail is pretty nice.
It holds its own.
A little bit right here, listen to the engine. I mean, it's significantly quieter than the Cummins.
Well, and lighter. So, like one of the places where a Paccar saves a lot of weight is the block. I've always thought this is the coolest thing because the block in a Paccar engine is actually a compressed graphite block, which means it's like thousands and thousands of little pieces of steel. They put it in this big hot mold, and they put the immense amount of pressure against it, and then that's how they form the block.
Yep.
Whereas like your Cummins is like a traditional like cast iron block.
Yeah.
And what's the cool part about compressed graphite? For one, it's like one of the only diesel engines out there that is compressed graphite, and that's typically what they make like NASCAR blocks out of.
Right.
So it's a really cool technology, but it's really good for saving weight. This engine
it's a 13 liter, so it's a little bit smaller in itself, and like we're on the way back, so we'll open up the hood and we'll show you the engine. It takes up a lot less space than the Cummins does.
Yeah, but the engine itself is 400 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Again, I mean, the stamp weight on the truck's like 17.7, which is for all the other trucks that we do. Yeah. That green truck that's in the shop right now, our show truck, our last show truck. I mean, all of those trucks are
like in the 18s.
They're up there in the 18s. So you're significantly lighter in this truck for sure. All right, so here's the outside of the truck. Desert turquoise. This thing is a 280 wheelbase, 78-inch sleeper. It's a 5.5-inch drop axle, air ride. It's aired up right now. The air dump's not on or nothing. We took the red out of the emblems, did a 12 gauge visor, we did 9 roof lights on the top. We did front and rear breather lights, double penny lights in there. They look good. We got 12 gauge cabin sleeper panels. Those are a 4-inch stainless, and it's just got the Hogue built half fenders with the braces on it, and kind of the truck in a nutshell. Didn't do a whole lot, but it looks sharp. Really nice truck. All right, back to the engine side of things. Look, I didn't call it a motor that time. Called it an engine. But that's the Paccar, and if you've paid attention and watched other videos we've done on the channel, the Cummins takes up a lot more room underneath the hood here. And that's just because it's a 15 liter and this is a 13 liter, so it's just a smaller engine. But there it is in all his compressed graphite glory. The old automatic transmission in there. See if we can see it. I'll tell you what though, I like filming the motor after we drive it because it's warm. Keeps my hands warm. Feels good. Yep, there it is. All right, guys, that's it for this video. There it is. Just in time for sunset when it starts getting even colder.
Very, very cold. I don't really even know what to say right now. I can only concentrate on getting back inside.
We can't even complain that much. I talked to Bill last night and it was like 8 degrees there.
Yeah, they said I heard like next week's the high point of all next week is supposed to be like 20 degrees in Wisconsin. So I talked to him today.
The camera's even kind of shaking a little bit because I'm cold, and I think it's only about like 30 here.
Yeah, it's about 35 right now.
Wow, we're pansies.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, that's it for the video. Got to tell them to do the stuff.
Sorry, the cold is blocking my ability to think. You guys know what to do. You got to like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram.
@SemiCasual Show.
And then we'll see you next time.
Later.